Hi team, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Lara and this channel is all about productive and purposeful living. But today we're talking about something slightly deviating purely because we're all in a little bit of a crisis mode. It's highly unavoidable, the situation that the entire world is in at the moment, and it's a situation that we all share. So I wanted to make a video to give you tools to be able to cope with the isolation and to be able to cope with being stuck indoors, because it is something that we're all doing for the good of everyone. So I'm starting off for these couple of kind of more physical focused options purely because they're effective. We often think that we need to change the way we think about things in order to change the way we respond to things, but sometimes it's actually changing our physical response that can have the most effect. So exercise is a great way to kind of reinvigorate your body and also to release a whole bunch of really productive chemicals that can help to counteract stress, to counteract worry. As a circus performer that is now stuck at home, there is a bunch of training, and with a broken foot, there's still heaps of training I can do. So have a look around. Again, there are so many home workout apps. There are so many YouTube channels devoted to working out at home. So even taking just 10 minutes out of your day to do something physical can really help to change it around. So the reason that this actually works is because when you are anxious and when you are stressed, your body goes through a physical change. Your heart rate quickens, your breath quickens, and you start to enter sort of like panic attack almost mode. So in focusing on your breath, you're giving your brain something else to think about for one, but you're also physically changing the way that your body is responding to it. And the more you can slow down your breathing, the more you can concentrate on your breathing, the more you can shift your physical response to stress, which then ends up changing your emotional response to stress. The most simple one is holds of 4. So it's breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, and hold that again for 4 counts, and then repeat as much as you need. Definitely recommend it. There are a bunch of different ways and a bunch of different methods and hold patterns that you can use. I'll link a couple of my favorites down below for you. Speaking of physical options, a really great one is to do a dance party of one. If you're somebody that's like, you know what, I'm not actually gonna go lay on the ground and do crunches, give yourself a dance party of one. Chuck on your favorite music, dance around like a moron in your house, and get that kind of sweat on and feel really great about yourself. It is a fantastic way to change your mood. So this is one that I know during this crisis a lot of us are doing. We're checking the news multiple times a day, we're checking our social media feed, we're checking for every ounce of information we can get. And even though it may not seem like it, sometimes the best thing you can do is switch off from that news. Because all you're doing is you're reminding yourself constantly that you should panic. So make sure that you give yourself time. If you're feeling overwhelmed with the entire situation, switch off from the news. So if you need to cry, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling shocked, let that emotion out. Absolutely 100% cry if you need to. And if you're not a crier, journal. If your emotional weight is making you feel anxious and you feel like you need to exercise, do that, but get the emotion out somehow. You have to realize that there's something actually amazing that you've been given, which is time. That you can just focus on those hobbies. You can re-engage with the stuff that you really like. You can start that art project you've been meaning to. You can garden, you can cook, you can find new recipes, you can... I don't know what else other people do for hobbies, but whatever your thing is, you have the time to do it. There are so many ways that you can stay connected with your friends and family during this time. So if you're feeling like you don't have an outlet, like you don't have a connectedness, that you're alone, then call someone, text someone, message someone, video chat someone. There's also really great ways with technology now. If you're feeling disconnected from your friends and like you can't go out and do stuff, which you shouldn't, then you can do things like play Dungeons and Dragons online. You can set up a weekly coffee where it's you're at your home with your coffee and they're at their home with their coffee and you're video chatting. There's all these different tools that are available for you. Ooh, just kicked my tripod. Just have a look for them. There are a bazillion videos out here on YouTube that's all like, you need to journal this, you need to journal that, you need to make a bullet journal, you need to... So I'm not actually much of a journaler. I have enough like notebooks already on the go that I don't have a habit of journaling every day, but I do keep 2 journals, or at least 2 journal practices that I think are really useful in my arsenal. So in this little brown book here, that's where I journal my little wins and little joys. That one's really good because it's for days when you are feeling down, where you're feeling like everything is going wrong. There's not one positive thing that came out of your day, that you're dwelling on the one bad thing that your day has. It might be that I didn't get around to filming this video. I didn't get around to doing as much work from home as I should have. I didn't blah, 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 blah. If you're focusing on a negative, then use a journal practice called Little Joys, which I use, and write down every single good thing that happened in your day. Every single thing that made you joyful. Anything at all. It could be like, I saw this cool bird. I hung out with my dog. I had morning coffee with a friend of mine. I made a tough phone call. I did the dishes today. Like any little win, any little joy that was in your day. And then when you start to write them, you can then realize how many positives there actually were in your life at that time. And it stops you dwelling on the negatives so much. The other one is gratitude journaling. So little joys I tend to use for if I'm dwelling on a negative thing that happened in my day. And then gratitude is one that I use if I'm feeling like my life is going nowhere. If I feel like my journey is stunted, if I feel like I'm not making as much progress as I should with my entire life, then that's when I use gratitude journaling. And that's what, it's again a list, and I write down everything that I am grateful for that I have in my life. And then it kind of stops you from thinking about all the stuff that you don't have, all the stuff that you might be facing, because you can think about all the amazing things that you do have. So if you're like me and you're lucky enough to have a garden, go out and sit in it every once in a while. If you aren't, and you are of course stuck indoors, then open a window, let in the sunshine, let the breeze flow through your building. Sit and listen for the sound of birds. There's still ways that you can engage with nature even if you don't happen to be able to go outside into it. Because nature is not just trees and grass, it's also air, it's also sun. So try and find all those little pieces of nature and try and connect with those. One thing that I really like to do is to sit out on my deck, close my eyes, and see if I can listen for the furthest noise I can away from where I am that is natural. That's not city noise, that isn't, you know, traffic and helicopters or planes, but it's actually a natural, and you'd be surprised when you focus how far off you can hear. This is a method that I use when I feel stuck. It's also a method that I use when I'm feeling really low, that if I can just get one thing achieved, I feel so much better. Even if that one thing is doing the dishes, tidying my desk, getting dressed for the day. One small, super achievable task that you can tick off your list can really change your day around. Looking for the positives, particularly in a time like this, can be really difficult. But again, when you start to feel this encroaching doom in your life, try and look for the positives instead of dwelling on the negatives. So rather than going, I can't leave my house, I can't get groceries, I'm limited by, I'm stuck in, all of these kinds of like pushing inwards thoughts, think about the stuff that you've gained by this instead. So for me, I've gained so much time with my family. I get to spend more time with my dog, which means I have more dedicated hours, I can give him attention and train him. I have been given the gift of time where I can focus on my YouTube channel, which I was falling so far behind with. Think of the things that you've been given. Because of this crisis, I am now talking to my family more than I ever had. And I'm feeling so connected with them considering I can't visit them. So this is a habit that we can really easily fall into, and in fact in doing it, it kind of puts us in a very strange, like everything is sad momentum. And that's to stay in your pajamas all day. Or to just generally go, I'm at home, I don't really need to try. Trust me, getting up and getting ready and having a really good getting ready routine in the morning is really, really positive. Get ready, take pride in yourself, take a moment for yourself at the start of every day, feel clean and refreshed and rejuvenated, and then go get your day. One of the really positive things that you can be doing with your time that can help you to feel like you're still living an important and kind of progressive life is to learn more. And you can do that by reading. You can do that by listening to podcasts. You can absolutely do that through YouTube and Netflix. But giving yourself time to learn new skills or to learn new information will make you feel like you're growing as a person and not that you're just stagnating by being stuck inside. Everyone has one of these. It's the thing that you hardly ever do, but when you actually get around to doing it, you're like, oh, I feel so great. For some people, this might be grooming, it might be nail polish, it might be makeup, it might be putting beard oil in, it might be, I don't know, whatever your thing is. Mine is nail polish. I don't usually have these done. I do at the moment because I felt like I needed it, so I put some on the other day. It's something that I always have on hand, but never really do. Also, pun on hand, but if there is that one thing that you can do that makes you feel luxurious, take a bubble bath, put on a face mask, do a hair mask, do that thing. When you're feeling low, take yourself the time to do that thing that makes you happy and makes you calm and makes you feel confident and joyous. I have used so many of these and they are really, really good tangible things to help you feel not quite so down. It's unlikely you will need these only once. You're going to have ups and downs, highs and lows, swings and roundabouts. It's going to be a topsy-turvy roller coaster for all of us. So it's okay to have this list on hand, to do as many of them as you need to be able to get through this. If you think that there's some advice that you need, that there's something you're missing, that you're kind of going, actually, to get me through this, I'm feeling so overwhelmed, can you give me any tips for that? I'm not sure how to work from home, can you make a video about that? Let me know, put it in the comments below and I will absolutely support you in any way that I can. Keep in touch and stay safe. Peace.